Mishpatim means laws, ordinances, decrees. Some are chukim, some are mishpatim. In other words, some are more difficult to understand, some are easier to understand. At the end of the day, Parashas Mishpatim is full of different laws. Now, what's interesting is, thematically, there are laws which encompass two parts of the Jewish body of law. There's mitzvahs which are bein lemakom, between man and God, and there are also mitzvahs that are bein lechavero, meaning between man and his friend, in those interpersonal societal laws. Question is any given one more important? Meshech Chochmah has a piece in this, beautiful piece in Parshas B'Shalach, and he says, look, there's a contradiction. On the one hand, if you look at the bigger punishments in the Torah, they're reserved primarily for mitzvahs between man and God. There are serious punishments for infringements on mitzvahs, sins, etc., and they're primarily reserved for mitzvahs ben adon lemakom. However, if you look at history, then adon lechavero sees more severe. The first Beis Hamikdash was primarily bein adon lemakom infraction that caused it to be destroyed, and yet it was lost for 400 years or so. The second Beis Hamikdash, sinas chinam, interpersonal relationship breakdown, it's still lost. Dor HaMabul were destroyed. Why? Because they stole, the Gemara says. Dor HaFlaga, Tara Bavel, they were okay in terms of their interpersonal relationships, but they lack bein adon lemakom. They're trying to rebel against God. So it sounds like rebelling against God is less severe than breaking down human relationships. So what is it? What is it? It says Meshech Chochmah brilliantly. He says, as long as we're individuals, we have a certain power, but it's capped. As part of a community, we're much more powerful. As part of a community, various different elements of Jewish law are more powerful. We daven as a community. The Gemara talks about learning Torah in a community is more powerful than even building the Beis Hamikdash. Tshuva as a community can rescind certain degrees. Being part of a community is more powerful. But when do we get the rights of being part of a community? When we care for that community. When bein adon lechavero is great. When we really invest in our personal relationships. If those break down, then everything breaks down, and we lose our communal or national identity, that promise of survival and that promise that we'll thrive, and we end up as mere individuals. And therefore, of course, bein adon lemakom is the prime, is the reason we're here. But bein adon lechavero breaking down, if we had the definition of community, is so much more severe.